All right, welcome to Deliverable Project 5 video. This one is going to be very short because there's not much to talk about. If you look at the PDF, which I have on the screen here that's posted in Blackboard for this project, and you have done your in-class Lab 7, you'll see that it's virtually identical with a few small caveats, one of which is instead of just 2 parallel arrays, you have 3. All right? So what I recommend you do to make things a little easier on yourself is to just copy in-class Lab 7, the VLS file, or rename it as Project 5 and go in and edit it. You'll have to delete all your assignments probably unless you want to go in and rename the variables. But as you can see here, we have 3 arrays called apartments, rent, and units available. You load the arrays just like you did in class Lab 7, only it will contain, the first array, apartments, will contain at the 0th index this text. All of these is text, by the way. At the first index, this text, index 2, this text, index 3, this text, and index 4, this text. And that's for the apartments. Now, the rent is parallel to this and is also parallel to this. So they're all parallel. And you watched my lecture video and read through the chapter and did in class Lab 7, you understand parallelism. Okay. So the rent array at index 0 will have this text, index 1 this, 2 this, 3 this, and index 4 this. And units available at 0th index will be this, index 1, index 2, index 3, and index 4. So just make it all text. That's one caveat. There are 3 instead of 2, so you'll have to go in and rework that. The loop's basically the same, only you'll have instead of 2 in your when you're building your output string, you'll have 3. You'll still use the for loop, still use count. Max and min are probably the same. All right, so that much is really easy. The other difference, which may be of some significance to you, is the fact that in class Lab 7, all the output strings were the same length for the first column and the second column. There weren't varying lengths like this. Now, here's the issue. I'm going to show you this in just a minute. In most languages, you're using Windows type control, so you really wouldn't have this issue. But even if you did, you could pad, what's called pad, each string with the right number of spaces so that the longest string and the shorter string would really be the same length because you come through here and pad them. So you find the longest string and then you loop through and add the number of spaces minus this length. That's how that's done. We're not going to get into that because we don't have pads. So I'm going to show you how to do it manually. Why do you need to do that? Because Visual Logic centers the output of your Windows dialog box, basically. Centers everything in there. It's not left justifying it and all that. So I'll show you that in just a second. Let me open this up now. Okay, here's basically the completed project. It's just like I said. I mean, you start up with your title. You got your character and line feeds and tabs and all that, and there's the first array, and there's all the indices for that, initializing each one. 0 through 4, there are 5 rows. Here's the second one called rent. There's that. Here's the third one called units available. There's that. It's the same thing in here. You just have to go in and add your arrays and that kind of stuff. Now, let's look at the output for this real quick. Doesn't look very good. See that? Doesn't look anything like this. Why? Because it centers everything based on the length of each string. So what you have to do is come in here and just manually put spaces in. So let's do that real quick. I think I've got an idea how many. I kind of got to remember. All right. So essentially, it's going to be the leftmost column or the first array that's going to control. So we'll go in here, and you may have to maximize this a little bit so you can see what you're doing. I think I put 30 in. I'm going to start with 30 in the first 2. I think that's right. All right, let me try this one. You hear me counting because I can't do it without saying it. No, let's try. I did it. Okay. Non-verbal counting. All right, and then this one, I believe I wound up with 5 spaces. The others are sort of indicative of a long string, so they kind of set the pattern here. So let's save it and run it. There you go. See what happened? because I have a tab in between each one, the tab is based on the end of the string. So if this string is here and Windows sees the tab here, it's going to put the tab there instead of over here. So if you make them all the same length, then it's going to line up better. And that's basically all there is to it. And there's really not, this is not a challenge for you having done in Class Lab 7. So I'm going to leave it at that and talk to you later.